Xbox Live / just Xbox in general DRM issue. All right. So, for those who don't know what's going on, for 2 days, Microsoft had something very bad happen. Okay. For some odd reason, people who had legal rights to content on their consoles and PCs could not access said content if it was digital content. If you had a physical disc, apparently this wasn't an issue. But apparently, the digital rights, or DRM, digital rights management system for Microsoft was down for several days. And because of that, if you had a game on your console, you couldn't play it. Now, I could see perhaps this being something for Game Pass owners. And what I mean by that is you're a Game Pass subscriber. Okay? Every month you're paying a flat fee. That fee is giving you temporary access to a said number of games. A lot of games, by the way. Some new, some old. Some people argue Game Pass is the best value in gaming, right? But technically you don't own those games. You have the rights to play them for a limited time. And if at all you decide, oh, I don't want to renew the membership, you lose access to those games. I can understand for Game Pass games like that, okay, that you don't want people to have full ownership of a game they downloaded to their console. Because what if someone has Game Pass, downloads 40 games, and then never pays for it again? Oh, well, I have all the games on my console, I can play them all. So they basically stole 40 games, for 1 month. What if they got a free trial of Game Pass, right? So, that being said, I can understand Game Pass games being affected by this for sure. But what I don't understand is if you own the full digital rights to a game, you bought the game outright. Like right now, I own Mirror's Edge on the Xbox 360 digitally. I bought it many, many years ago in anticipation of doing a playthrough of it. And now it looks like it may finally come to fruition possibly this week. Okay? So, if you own it outright, it's not a subscription, it's not a limited time thing, why is there DRM attached to it? You just fucking own it. The moment you purchase the game fully and download it, you should have it forever on your console or PC and not have to worry about them verifying that you own it again. That doesn't make any sense. It's an extra level of security that doesn't need to be there. You paid for the fucking game. You see? So, for me, I am pretty upset that they determined that every single digital download that you have on your console has to have DRM attached to it. All right? Because that pissed me off. Last night, we very well could have just played Mirror's Edge, and it would have been a nice stream. And I couldn't do it. Even though the game is fully downloaded on my Xbox Series X, it had the same error as all the other games. It popped up and said, the person who owns the rights to this game needs to sign in. Well, I do. I own the rights to everything on my Xbox, and I was fully logged in and everything. So it pretty much angers me that this is the case, all right? Now, the funny part about this is people are trying to speculate what caused it. And odd timing that this would happen. But Microsoft announced they had figured out some kind of... Oh, by the way, what's up, Evil Age? He says Silent Hill 2 and 3 are actually on Xbox now. Oh, see, I didn't know that. So that's the HD collection? I thought so. At one point, I owned the physical collection. I don't think I still have it anymore. I think I got rid of it at one point. But I owned the physical collection for PS3, the HD collection. Likely, if I were to play Silent Hill 2 and 3 again, I probably would re-download them, likely on Xbox. That probably would make sense. They probably run better on Xbox, too. So anyway, getting back to the point, Xbox had the weirdest announcement a couple days ago. They announced that Fortnite could be played through the cloud. It was so confusing. I don't really understand it. I guess what people were saying was Fortnite had been removed from certain storefronts. Like, I guess Fortnite cannot be bought or not be downloaded right now onto a phone, I guess, because the court case that they had with Apple or whatever. I don't really know the ins and outs because, this was like 1 or 2 years ago when it was news. I don't really remember the whole situation around it. But I guess, yeah, Fortnite was removed from being on certain marketplaces. You couldn't get the game. So I guess Microsoft found a workaround for it or something where you can now get Fortnite. You don't need to get it through a store. Like you can play through the cloud or something. It's so confusing because I didn't really, I'll be honest with you, I didn't pay attention to it because I don't care about fucking Fortnite, right? I don't give a shit about the game. I'm not ever going to play the stupid game again. It's the least interesting story to me at all. And that's why I don't really know the ins and outs of it, okay? But the weird part about it is Microsoft announced that, oh, we found this workaround for Fortnite. You can play it through the cloud. And then their DRM glitched. Like the moment that they announced this. Oh, it's going live right now. You can play Fortnite. Oh, can you? Oh, wait, no, nothing works. And some people are directly corresponding the DRM outage with this Fortnite thing. Now, I don't know where that comes from. Just because two things happen at the same time doesn't mean that they're related. But then again, digital rights management is a weird topic in general. Could there have been something that fucked up that actually, yeah, that was Fortnite related with this cloud thing that screwed everyone up? And the other thing that's really weird about the situation, okay, is that it wasn't, oh, okay, this was a glitch for, you know, a couple hours. All right, this was a glitch for half a day. This persisted for 2 whole days. For some people, they had no access to their games, then they had access to their games, then they had no access to their games again, then they got access back again. It was like going up and down, you know? And that's just really weird to me. What was going on, right? It's like, was it a server issue in general? Is there a server that has to be accessed to verify you have the rights to play a game at any given time, and the server was just down? Because the weird thing was the error message. The weird thing was the error message didn't say, servers are down, you can't play it right now. The error message said, you need to log into the account that has the rights to this game. But you were logged into that account, right? That's really weird. Now, of course, people on the internet are very upset. And they have a right to be. If you own a console or you own a PC and you have a Game Pass membership or you have a ton of games that are all digital, by the way, that's what Microsoft is pushing everyone towards. They want everyone on Game Pass, right? They want everyone accessing all their games digitally. We are so moving away from physical medium today, right? It's a major push. Everything should be digital. But if anything, this whole situation has exposed the horrors of when DRM doesn't fucking work. And typically, DRM issues happen on PC. It's been an infamous thing where on PC you buy a PC game and all of a sudden there's a million pieces of fucking DRM attached to it and you can't get it to work even if you have no reason for it not to. It just won't work. And then the fucking game developer has to apologize and patch the shit out of the game so that people can actually access it. But it's almost never an issue on consoles. This is probably the first time I can even think that DRM has popped up as a major issue on consoles for any kind of a period of time. So, that being said, people are pissed. And we're not just talking a few people. We got major content creators, actual gaming journalists, game developers. A lot of people were upset about this, saying this just, simply put, this just shouldn't happen. It just shouldn't. If you're going to have DRM to protect the rights to your games, fine. But you should not have an end-user experience that's ruined. And especially not for 2 days. Because that's 2 days that people who have Game Pass have paid for. That's 2 days that people who bought games outright should have access to their content. You're essentially locking the room. Oh, you can't go into your game room today. Why not? Oh, DRM's down. Like, what? But that's my fucking room. Let me in there. No, you can't go in there. What are you talking about? You see? It's actually illegal. Because if you have the right to that content and you paid for it, they have to live up to their end of the bargain. And if they don't, you have a legal right to try to get back what you didn't get. Okay? They could be sued. Now, it would be a pretty stupid lawsuit because it was only 2 days. If it were out for like 2 weeks to a month, yeah, then you could have a pretty hefty class action lawsuit against you. But it was only 2 days, all right? So it's not that big of a deal. But for some people it is. What if you only get to play a certain day of the week? What if that was the one day when there was something hype going on, you were very excited? You want to know who's a real loser in all of this? Halo Infinite. Because Halo Infinite Season 2 came out this week, and a lot of people are jumping back into Halo Infinite for the first time, and it was down for 2 days for a lot of people. By the way, this weekend was your opportunity to play Halo Infinite and earn all the limited time in-game unlocks and things as a result of the launch of Season 2. Oops, you couldn't play it for 2 days. You see? So when you're doing a major kind of relaunch or reinvigoration of a game that kind of fell off and became dead because there was no content, you finally add the content and now no one can play the game. Ouch. And that's the flagship game. That is the big AAA first-party flagship game for Xbox, and because the DRM failed, no one could fucking play it. Right? So that being said, what's going to happen now? And by the way, will Microsoft ever come out and admit what happened? Because it's such a bizarre thing that happened. You got to wonder what caused it. Everyone wants to know. They want to know, is it going to happen again in the future? Because it's bullshit, right? What this, if anything, I say cautionary tale a lot these days because we see a lot of cautionary tales around here, right? But it's a cautionary tale against having everything be digital. I have every game on my consoles digital right now. I don't even own any physical games right at this moment that I could play besides retro games over there. That's it. Everything here is digital. So if DRM goes down, I'm dead in the water. I can't play any games. That's why I did a DSP Reacts last night, because I couldn't play any games on my Xbox, right? So what happens if, you know, they fuck up and their servers go down for a while? Like, remember, there's been times there's intermittent PSN outages and shit. What do? But the thing is, physical media is definitely on the way out. It absolutely positively is. Most of these game companies are realizing that more than 50% of their sales are turning up to be digital now. So you're going to see it slowly phasing out. Over the next 5 years, you're going to see less and less physical available. If anything, it'll be a collector's item. I bought physical because I'm a collector and I pay more for it. I wouldn't even be surprised if the cost of the physical game is more expensive than the cost of the digital, because they'll add in the cost to actually manufacture it physically. Yeah. Imagine it being $70 digital, $75 physical. I could see it happening. So we have to see what happens moving forward. But if you're going to phase out the physical, you got to have your digital to be solid, man. You know what I mean? So it's a big issue. It shocked a lot of people, including me. I looked out that Friday. I wasn't playing anything on Xbox. And then I go to play something yesterday. I'm like, oh, you got to be kidding me. You know? We'll see. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. Seriously. It would be very bad if this was a recurring issue with Microsoft. So let's hope for the best, okay? Okay.